Oh my goodness, Palantir gets a huge shout out and maybe a huge clue on earnings.
And with models as a service, we provide API access to third-party models, including, as of last week, the latest from Cohere, Meta, and Mistral. The number of paid models as a service customers more than doubled quarter over quarter, and we are seeing increased usage by leaders in every industry from Adobe and Bridgestone to Novo Nordisk and Palantir.
Now, this is major news to me considering Microsoft, the tech behemoth, decided to include in their opening statements for earnings to include Palantir as one of their paid models as a service customers showing big usage. Now, for context, Microsoft continues to see huge growth across their business, especially when it comes to AI. And with models as a service provided by Microsoft, the API access that Palantir utilizes essentially is showing the people at Microsoft that this is going up big. Now, it's quite flattering, of course, to be called a leader of their industry, although we already know Palantir spans many industries, at least in the applications of their products and customers. But I think this is huge news in and of itself, besides the compliments from Microsoft, who are willing to put up that specific recognition out there using Palantir's name. Now, this is just my perspective, of course, but it sounds like Microsoft, out of all the companies, they could have just shouted out and decided to put someone else but Palantir, and maybe it's good for a reason that they did. They could be truly seeing an explosion of usage from them now, so of course we don't have any quantitative numbers though as they're an individual customer, but with Palantir's products, they are that infrastructure play, especially in terms of operationalizing AI. So they would be a good shout out, honestly, because they aren't necessarily competing and building these LLMs, but rather they are allowing their customers to utilize their own models and deploy them throughout their products, or like this, letting them utilize other models that they can get hosted by Microsoft. So the important message here underlying is that they specifically said the number of customers like Palantir doubled, yet they are shown as an increased usage person. So amongst a larger pool of candidates that they could have picked, they still decided this was someone worth shouting out. Now, advantageously as well for Microsoft, this also works on the flip side where they know there is a certain reputation of Palantir and following, but also the other names like Novo Nordisk and Adobe where we know they're big companies and heavily reliant on Microsoft's products and services to run their businesses. And if business is good for Microsoft's customers, then Microsoft should benefit as well like this, and this is a big clue. And maybe for Palantir, this is a large clue about how they performed last quarter, since we don't know how the results are yet, which will be released next Monday. But even if it's not necessarily dollars, higher usage is a pretty good proxy, at least, that there's at least interest in using Palantir's products from their customers, big and small, and maybe prospective ones. And this may also indicate some level of customer acquisition and or a combination of existing customers increasing their usage. So this honestly perked my ears, considering this is technically a tangible clue for their performance last quarter, but still be careful as it's all speculation. But we'll see what happens when the results are disclosed next week, so just let me know your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next video.